So Christine said keep it short, so I went single-spaced. So, oh, I'm a pelican and I'm okay. For those of you that don't know, this is Andrew Shanafelt, and he is one of the directors of Senior High Camp at Pilgrim Firs this year. If you would like to learn the rest of that song, come on out. I figured that was a very appropriate, another way for us to speak to pelicans. If you know the rest of that song or are familiar with Monty Python, you understand why. If not, look up I'm a Lumberjack. It's a very interesting story. So to kind of continue with the accolades and the thank yous, Randy has been at NCITS for 17 years. What an inspiration. Thanks, Randy. Working with the conference staff, Mike, Arlene, and Michelle has been just awesome once again this year, and they deserve big thanks. The folks here at University for hosting us, and particularly I was watching as they were going and sorting through all of our trash after lunch and making sure it all got recycled. This is the whole environmental piece we're looking at, and we're going to speak to here shortly. So greetings from camp. The days and weeks and months of gray skies and drizzle are finally giving way to blinding sunshine because we're not used to it. We're seeing new growth and spring is thriving at Pilgrim Firs. The regular things that we do over the years are consistently doing well still, and we have some new things on the horizon to tell you about. Now, I am very excited, but I'm a pelican, so this is as much jumping around as you're going to see. For the past few years, Pilgrim Firs has gradually increased what we do to be environmentally friendly, each year doing a little bit more. We've started a recycling program, controlled runoff, erosion issues, done sustainable forest harvesting, replanted native species, and we're working on removing invasive species. We're working on ways to get our users outside more. We're putting in more benches, more covered areas. We've recently installed a play structure, and we're working on a large group structure for outside. Mark Boyd, are you in the room? He managed to slip out at the wrong time. Mark Boyd is here with the youth. He's one of the red shirts. He's the one with all the red hair. If you see him, please make sure and give him a pat on the back. If you come out to Pilgrim Firs and haven't been there for the last couple of years, you will see evidence of what he's done since he came on as maintenance person about a year and a half ago. He's doing an amazing job out there, and we want to thank him very much. In addition to maintenance, he also does the junior high midwinter and the junior high summer camp, and he's very, very involved with what we do. We're working now on doing more to buy locally where possibly and continue to look for local sources. One of the new and very cool things that's happening is that the local food bank in Port Orchard, the South Kitsap Food Bank, recently purchased Port Orchard Nursery, and they're starting to produce some of their own food. We're going to have them raise some of that food for us as well. We will purchase it then from them so that we're supporting the food bank as they are supporting us with food. And that's just one of those circular things we can do. So this is all translating into quite the environmental movement. On the display table out there, you may have seen the words environment and justice. And as a science teacher by training, I really understand teaching environmental issues and all that kind of stuff. But when all this environmental justice stuff came together, I had to go, wait, now what exactly does that mean? And so to clarify for you, there's a lot of environmental issues out there that we can learn about and teach each other about. What the UCC nationally has done is focus on the environmental issues that are affecting marginalized people. So oftentimes people of color and people that are in poverty-stricken areas. We're focusing on fixing those issues in order to make the situation better for them. We're advocating for them because many of them cannot do that for themselves. So this is what the Environmental Justice Center piece is about. So we've broken it down into 4 pieces real quickly, and some of you have heard this before, and we'll just kind of drive it home. Basically, it's a 4-pronged approach. The first thing that we're going to do is work on environmental education of the issues, in particular the marginalized populations. The second piece that we're doing that other places aren't with respect to these issues is biblical and theological reflection and grounding. What does it say in the Bible about justice that is the reason that we should be doing this? The third piece we'll be doing at Pilgrim Firs and throughout the nation eventually is hands-on projects having to do with solar, wind, water, insulation, that kind of thing. And when we get done with that, then we'll do tours of the facility in these other places and show people that the people who've come out and done the hands-on stuff will then take that back to their home churches and neighborhoods and show that as well. And fourthly, and possibly the most important piece, is advocacy, that piece of standing up for the folks who can't do that for themselves, and which works really well for us. And if you think of it as making noise, we're going to get out there and make noise with businesses, companies, corporations, government officials, and all those people about environmental issues that are affecting these people. So how do we transform the world? What is it that we can do next? First of all, go outside, enjoy the sunshine while it's there. But get in tune with nature. So many of us are from the city, and that's one of the pieces that it's wonderful that we can afford to do at our camps, is get you outside. Take advantage of that when they're there, and take a walk through the woods and listen to the animals and the sounds and all that kind of stuff that you see. As many of you are aware, this piece has been coming together, the Environmental Justice Center piece has been coming together for quite a while, and I've been very impatiently waiting for it to fall into place. I've been ready to get started. I've been saying to Mike, what are we going to do next? When can we get going on this? People are calling Mike and me and saying, I want to do something now. What can I do? And so we've done a couple things already. One of those is we're working on invasive species. We have a few at Pilgrim Firs, but we've been keeping after it pretty consistently for the last few years. So now we're getting to areas that we haven't, that aren't in the main core area, but we still have invasive species that we're working on. A group from Plymouth came out the other day and brought a botanist, and we learned new things about invasive species and how to take care of them. And so we're continuing with that. There's a group from Suquamish Church that's going to be coming out and doing that same thing here in a couple of weeks. Become involved with that if you want. Pretty soon the hands-on pieces will come together and you can participate in that. The biggest thing is keep your eyes open and listen so that you know when those things are coming and you can participate in them. The other piece that we are doing is we're collecting information of people who have gifts with respect to environmental justice. I've already got names and background information on some folks here. Some people have shared some things with Mike. Please continue to do that. We want to know who those people are that want to do those things and what their gifts are so that we can use those. So let us know. And one of the big things that you've already been doing, we thank you so much and ask you to continue supporting the camps by coming to the events at both sites, because that's what keeps us running and keeps it so that we can do these things, which is just awesome. What's happening and when? The Environmental Justice Center kickoff is planned for late September. There will be a justice-led training at Pilgrim Firs around that same time for young adults, which will be awesome. And so the information on when that stuff is happening will come soon. And then the plan is to have our first environmental justice actual event sometime in December. The date is yet to be determined, but that information will come out very shortly. So, in conclusion, thank you so much for the inspiration that you provide. I think back to when the last day of camp, when the staff gets together and we talk about what happened that week. And we don't talk about often, I mean, there's discussion about the issues that happens with the kids. And this was difficult and that was difficult. But the things that stand out for us are what we learned from the kids. Because things happen with them and they teach us, and other campers that come out, they teach us things. And it's just amazing what we learn each time. And you are the reason and you are the inspiration that we look forward to each summer and throughout the year. So we look forward to seeing you again soon at camp. Come on out and join us. Thanks.
A moment of appreciation. We are, in addition to being gifted with incredible camp directors, and I want to add, because some of you have been having concern around this, one of the things that the rumor is out there, and yes, the rumor is true, Randy Crow is actually retiring. What? They say? This is news. Yeah, see, he's like, sorry, Randy, we had to let people know, you know. This, as Randy described it to us in the board of directors, is going to be kind of a year, starting with this camping season, of saying goodbye. But it's not as if we're letting him like slither out unnoticed. Stay tuned and do show up at the next annual meeting, because that will in part be a time of celebrating an incredible ministry in our midst. So, you know, the chain continues to pass. We are a great cloud of witness, and Randy has been a part of our cloud. Thanks. Another newer part of our cloud, but not so new anymore, I mean, he's just moving right along, is another person who I think we want to have a moment to appreciate. We have been gifted in this conference to have a phenomenally dedicated and caring and innovative, and, you know, sometimes he kind of pushes us and nudges us along, but always in an incredibly nurturing and compassionate way. I would like to have our conference minister, Mike Denton, come up. Woo!
Thank you all, that's enough. Thank you all very, very much. I'm the guy who right now smells like cough drops, and if you hear one rattling around my mouth, it's not teeth. It is a cough drop. I wanted to really start off with several words of thanks and reiterating some of the thanks that you've already shared amongst and between us within this gathered group here. I want to say a special thanks to Randy and Deej for all of the ways in which they serve this conference, both through their work through the camps as well as the ways that they help us keep connected in so many different ways. The camps are one part of our life and our experience together that keep on getting better and better, and we owe them a great debt of thanks for all of the different ways in which they serve within the life of the conference. So Randy and Deej, thank you, thank you, thank you. Michelle Johansson is our business manager. She could not be here today. For those of you who might not know, she recently became engaged. Yeah. And she and her fiance have purchased a home together, and her fiance is moving into that home today. So she wisely chose to be part of that moving crew on this day. But if you get a chance to see Michelle and figure out different ways to thank her, and even in absentia, if we could give her a round of applause for all the work that she does for us as well. Is Arlene hiding again? Get her out here if you would, please. Arlene! Arlene! She loves this part. Yep. Last but certainly not least, Arlene is one of those. Just wave, Arlene, because I don't know if she. Well, come on up. I know you're this point. You can go back. Yeah. She hates this part. Yeah. She is beginning her 15th year with us within the life of this conference. So she's beginning her 15th year, and she is the person that I call if I have a question about the life of the conference, as I know that many of you do too, and certainly appreciate all that she does. One thing that several of you might know, and some of you might not know, is that she's getting ready to take some sabbatical time from this July till the beginning of October. I say this with some sense of fear and trepidation, but primarily I really do celebrate this, and I hope that you do too. She's going to be taking some time, in addition to just taking some time to relax and take a few deep breaths, see some friends and family. She's also going to be visiting people who are involved in administration within the national church as well as regionally. I'm considering some of those ways in which there might be able to be more fellowship among those who are administrators within our local churches. One of the things that she's going to be thinking about is helping put together and pull together some folks that will do a polity and theology class for our non-UCC administrators within some of our local churches. So to be able to share and explain some of who they get when they get a phone call, whom some, when they make a phone call, they might be speaking with. So just very, very thankful for her work.